There is big news around the world that China is rewiring its changing economy. It is going to impact the world in a lot of ways. In this video, we're going to talk about how China is growing its economy. Stay with us till the end of the video to know how China is growing. So, let's get started. China is making a lot of changes and building a brand new economic engine that shines brighter than the old one. The real estate market in China has been down for a while now. The economy is getting worse because people are losing faith. Also, China's heavy industry and cheap manufacturing need to do their part longer. What is Beijing going to do about it? They're working on a big project that will last a long time and be profitable in high-tech, clean, and profitable fields. Big countries worldwide are contending to be the leaders in new energy technologies like solar panels, batteries, semiconductors, biopharmaceuticals, and artificial intelligence. China wants to be in charge because whoever runs these businesses has the upper hand, and China wants to be that leader. It's about power, not just money. Beijing's plan is already beginning to work, believe it or not. China went from having one of the most poorest economies in the world to having the second largest economy in the world in just 40 years. A lot of that progress came from building homes, roads, and other infrastructure. As more people moved to towns, there was a huge need for homes, roads, bridges, and everything else. China's growth shot through the roof during this building boom. Then there was the world's factory thing, which meant that cheap goods were made in large quantities and filled markets around the world. The really scary part is that whole Made in China sign. It turned into a joke. People thought of it as a mark for cheap copies of Western goods. That won't work with the President Xi Jinping, though Made in China is going to be a badge of honor for him. To do that, he needs places like Suzhou. There you'll find GCL Technologies, a big name in the solar business. GCL makes the second most polysilicon in the world, and polysilicon is an important ingredient in solar cells. A cool thing about GCL is that they found a new way to make powdered silicon that uses a lot less electricity than the old ways. That means making those advanced solar panels cheaper and better for the environment. This is the exact kind of high-tech innovation that Xi Jinping wants to see more of. China has been very helpful to businesses like GCL. The government has been consistently helpful for the past 10 years, whether it's through cheap land, easy loans, or faster environmental clearances. Also, guess what? It does work. China now has a huge share of the world's solar panel business, which is pretty amazing when you think about it. But solar panels are not the only thing that can be done. Electric cars, or EVs, are another important part of China's new economic plan. China is becoming a world leader in the car industry thanks to its booming electric vehicle industry. Take the case of BYD. This brand of cars is the best-selling in the country. It is based in Shenzhen, which is a tech hub in southern China. It's on track to sell more EVs than any other country in the world. You heard that right. China is making EVs that are not only less expensive than other companies, but also pretty good. Chinese customers no longer always choose Tesla when they have to choose between a Tesla and a Chinese brand. That the Chinese brands are still around says a lot about how good Chinese goods are these days. What's inside those EVs? Lithium-ion batteries are the last of Xi Jinping's new three businesses. EVs are not the only things that these batteries power, they also power a lot of other cool stuff like drones and even smart dog collars. The value of China's products has grown a lot thanks to these new three industries: solar panels, electric vehicles, and batteries. All of this is backed up by strong measures from the government. Banks and businesses know what Xi Jinping thinks is important when he says so. To reach their goals, they focus on money and technology. It works like a charm. However, things are getting better at GCL. The company's new ideas in solar technology are helping Suzhou change from a city that depended on heavy industry and mining to one that is embracing high-tech industries. This change is not just happening in Suzhou either. China as a whole is expected to see growth in the technology industry while property contributes less to the economy. This means that China won't be able to take something made by someone else, make it cheaper and faster, and sell it back. Instead, Chinese companies will be the ones to lead the way with cool new goods. They know how to play this game very well. They used to depend on heavy industry, but now they are a world leader in technology. South Korea is home to many well-known names such as Samsung, LG, and Hyundai. China wants to do the same thing. China has a long way to go before it can become as wealthy as Japan and South Korea did by exporting their way to wealth. China can't sell all of its goods around the world because there is not enough demand. However, unlike Seoul, Beijing isn't exactly friends with the US. Things are already hard enough without that, but China's leaders are still making big plans. They want to keep the economy growing at a rate of about 5% a year and raise the GDP per person. China has a big job to do, but if it succeeds, it could keep growing gradually for years to come. China's economy is so big that its growth will have a big effect on the rest of the world. What does this all mean for the future of China? Well, the days when cheap, mass-produced things were China's main source of income are coming to an end. The government is instead moving toward high-tech new industries that can help it grow in the long term. China might change its place in the world economy because of this bold move. And if Xi Jinping's plan works, Made in China might stop being a joke and start being a sign of high-tech goods and good quality. China has made a lot of progress, but the road ahead is still very hard. The world economy is more competitive than ever, and other big economies are keeping a closer eye on China. China is having a harder time reaching its goals because of trade disputes, taxes, and rivalries in world politics. China is not giving up, though. The pressure is making the country come up with even more new ideas. China is putting a lot of money into nanotechnology, quantum computing, and artificial intelligence, all of which have a big impact on the future. You don't just want to catch up with the rest of the world, you want to lead the way. China is not trying to catch up either. Like 5G technology, it's already ahead of the curve in some ways. But China still has some big problems to solve at home. One of them is the drop in the housing market, but it's not the only one. Another problem is that the country's people are getting older. The economy of China might grow less quickly as more people leave and fewer young people start working. There's also the issue of unfairness. Some parts of China are doing very well, but others are still having a hard time. To make sure that everyone gains from the growth, the government will have to do a lot of work. With its fast growth in high-tech industries, China also has to deal with the damage that its rapid growth does to the climate. China needs to deal with pollution, climate change, and running out of resources if it wants to build a future that will last. It's hard to protect the atmosphere and boost economic growth at the same time. China has shown over and over that it can be up to the task. The country has always been able to adapt and change, and this new change is no different. China is changing again. It used to be the world's factory, but now it's a winner in high-tech innovation. The whole world is paying close attention. If Xi Jinping's plan comes true, the country could be at the forefront of the next economic revolution. What are your views about China's strategies? Do share with us in the comment section below. If you enjoyed watching the video, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel.